The points x, y, and z are located such that y is 15 kilometers south of x, z is 20 kilometers from x on bearing 270 degrees. Then the question asked is to calculate correct two significant figures, the distance y, z. And question number B is to calculate correct two nearest degree, the bearing of y from z. These are the two questions asked in this question. So let me attempt to answer this. Solution to this: always bearing is to form the drawing, is to make this or change this question into drawing is very, very necessary. So the drawing will look like this. You have the point x, and that point x in the question is says the point such that y is 15 kilometers south of x. So let me see y. If this is x, remember up is north, down is south, right is east, while left is west. So in the question it says y is 15 kilometers south of x, so y will be along this direction from x vertically down, because this is due south and this is the 15 kilometer. And the point z, look at the point z, it says 20 kilometer on bearing 270 from x. So this is x, so the direction of z from x is now 270. Remember, 270 is an angle on which we start measuring from that point x in clockwise direction like this, 270. So this is 90, 180, 270. So 270 is simply directly due west. So you have a point z, and that point z is 20 kilometers from x, so this is the distance. So you just join the points z and y to form the triangle. So this is my triangle, which is right angle triangle, because this is due west, this is due south, and the angle between is 90. So the triangle formed is a right angle triangle. So let me attempt to answer this question number A, in which I'm asked to find the distance yz. This is y to z is this side that I'm asked to find, it is length. So I can equally use my Pythagoras, because this triangle is a right angle triangle. So yz will now be equals to, using Pythagoras theorem, will now be equals to 20 square plus 15 square, meaning the square of the sum of the two sides. That is 20 square this side plus 15 square. So the sum of the squares of the two other sides, you take square root, it will give you the length of the third side. The third side, remember, is the hypotenuse, or the longest, so that's why we add here. So I continue. 20 square is nothing but 400, and 15 square is 225. So I added these two values correctly. So adding will give me 625. Remember, I'm trying to get a distance yz, so I'll now take square root of this 625, and the answer is going to be 25 kilometers. So distance from y to z is now going to be 25 kilometers. So with this I have answered question number A. I'll continue question number B. Question B says we are to find the bearing of y from z. This is the point y. I should find it is bearing from z, so it is there at point z. I'll go and take the angle. So the bearing will now be equals to, I'll now take a tangent of this angle z. If I can get this angle at z, add to this 90 degrees, it will give me the bearing. So let me get angle at z in this right angle triangle. So I'm now using my trig ratio, so I'm to find the tangent of z, meaning tangent of the angle at z. This will now be 15, the opposite side, over 20, the adjacent. So to get angle z, what I'll simply do, I'll take the tan inverse of 15 over 20. So I'll divide 15 by 20 and take the tan inverse of that value. That answer is going to be 36.87 degrees. So the size of this angle, this very angle, is 36.87 degrees. I'll continue. So I'll now get the bearing. The bearing of y from z, like I have said, is nothing but the angle from here, from this north to this line. And this angle is 36.87, while this angle is right angle between north and east. So I'm going to have addition of those two angles, 90 plus 36.87. It will give me the bearing. That is the size of this angle. So adding correctly, I will now have 126.87 degrees. This is the bearing of y from z. So this answered these two questions correctly. So let me get the marking scheme, or the mark distribution according to the Waec marking scheme for this very question. To beg your pardon, please. I have to approximate this to the nearest degree. The approximation of this will now be 127 degrees. So the Waec marking scheme now, I have B1 for the drawing, which is very, very necessary. Without drawing, all this will be 0. You will not have any mark if no drawing there. So for correct drawing, you have B1, and in that drawing, some pictures must be marked. The distances must be marked also. So for using Pythagoras to get distance YZ, you have method 1 mark. For simplifying that correctly, you have method 1 mark also, and the accuracy of the distance YZ, meaning to two significant figures, to get 25 kilometers, you have A1 mark. And attempting to get that angle using the trig ratio, you have M mark, method mark. And for getting the angle, that angle at Z as 36.87, you have accuracy mark. And attempting to get the bearing, meaning adding the two angles, 90 and that angle obtained, writing this addition or attempting to add this correctly, you have method mark. And the final result, meaning 127 approximated to nearest degree, you have 127, you have the accuracy 1 mark. So in total you have 8 marks for this question.